Hey, what's up guys, my name is Nof, and welcome to another tech video, or rather to be more exact, a headphone review video. And today we'll be reviewing the Sony WH-CH720N, the budget beginner noise cancelling headphone from Sony. So last video I reviewed the Sennheiser's 350BT, which HD 350BT, which I had a couple of things about it. I liked a couple of things about it, and I had a couple of issues about it. And I did mention, the 450BT, which is almost similar to this one, but with a noise canceling audio jack scenario, right? And then I mentioned the Sony 720N. Well, I have them, at least for today, but I have to bring them back to where it's supposed to be, back to the person, to review them. And, well, again, it's not new, you can actually tell. And I did mention these more than anything because of it's a budget with a noise cancelling and the comfort. But there's also a couple of cons I can mention it. Now, starting off the box. That's the box. That's what it looks like. It's just actually a simpler looking box, to be honest. Cheaper build. I mean, it's, saving the world, earth, paper stuff. You know what it is. Says the model, 35 hours of battery life with noise cancelling, without its 50 hours. Does support for multi-point connection, and the 360 audio reality thing for music from Sony. Supports for the app as well, by the way. It comes with a headphone cable, which we'll check it out. Also, charging cable, equalizer, button controls, voice calls. Really fast charging. 3 minutes with an hour of use. That's fast. Noise cancelling, which we'll talk about that in a bit. And yeah, it's a box. It's a box. It's honestly a simpler looking box, to be honest. A lot of Japanese written things. So inside the box, other than the drawings mentioning apps and whatnot, well, it comes with a AX or audio cable. There you go. Relatively long and nice cable, not that bad. The shortest charging cable I've seen in by the way, actually Sony keeps doing this. Stop. We need bigger than this. It's what is this? Like Sennheiser, at least they give you actual long charging cable, right? This is Sennheiser, brother. I'm not even joking. This is what it came with, and it's cheaper headphone. What is this? What can I do with this? And they do that with every headphones. It's such. Add a bigger cable. We're already spending too much money on this thing. By the way, it's $100 if you're actually going to buy this thing. It's $100, and that's after discount, right? Because before it used to be $150. Yeah, no, it's small. The audio cable's fine. I don't mind that, but this, yeah, no. So yeah, if get a bigger cable, okay? Just get a bigger cable. Now, here's the headphones. All right, there it is. It's when you look at it from far away, it's not a bad design headphone. It looks fine, right? The padding, which we'll mention in a bit, looks relatively fine. It's okay, and there's the whole microphones in the side. That's where for the noise canceling, it pick up the audio, the unnecessary annoying hissing audios or whatnot to cancel it. But when you touch them and you test them, there's a con and a pro scenario, and some of them you kind of just feel it. Now in terms of build quality, right, which I will separate from the comfort because I will mention the comfort in a bit. They did want to make this the lightest headphone you can get, and it's true, it is very light, but it feels cheap and kind of like if it will break, if that makes sense. It feels like I can just break this thing easily. It's kind of weak. It's not bad plastic in terms of feel, but if it kind of, well, touching it doesn't feel like that bad, but feeling it in terms of weight and whatnot, it feels like it's just easily could break at any second. Actually, I've seen people breaking these things a couple of times. Yeah, it feels weak. It's not Sennheiser's type of build quality. I mean, even though the ear cups of these things, which we'll talk about the Sony ones in a bit, other than the ear cup, the build quality is very rigid. It's very good, which is surprising from Sennheiser, right? These are not the case. These feel like it could just easily break. But I guess the idea is because of the comfort, it is comfortable. And I guess the reason why it feels cheap in terms of the plastic is because it's lightweight and it could easily be comfortable. By the way, fitting is also really good. Not that much clamping force, and I was surprised because it's actually comfortable. It's weird. Ear cups. Sure, the ear cups actually, these didn't last that long. The leather on this is a little bit weaker, but it is a little bit more comfortable though. It's wider comparing to the Sennheiser one, which was just squeezing my ears. These are actually really wide and fit just fine. I feel like most people will work with these just fine. The top part is also good. Actually, that's the thing. While these have some sort of leather, it's very thin. You can feel the plastic. These you actually have to push it deep down to feel the plastic. So leather-wise, in the design, rather the material, but the design is good. And you know, the ear cups also design is good. I give points to that for Sony. But the plastic is really kind of weak feel. I mean, I guess because it's supposed to be lightweight, it makes sense. Again, it is buttons, so I should mention the controls are buttons. A little bit more simpler than the Sennheiser, but that's actually a good thing. I do have to say I like the fact that Sennheiser headphones had a couple of weird looking controls extra than usual, but it feels unnecessary. These just have, you know, audio control, pause, or you know, calling function, and the noise canceling button, and that's pretty much it. That's all you need. Actually, I agree. That's all you need. And it does have an audio jack. There you go, an audio jack. That's great. How about that? So in terms of audio quality, right? Great Bluetooth connectivity. You can connect to 2 devices and all. It's great. Audio quality in both Bluetooth and audio jack. Audio jack is the one I actually have the most problem with, but the Bluetooth connectivity, audio's side of things, it's not a bad headphone, especially if you just, you know, the type of scenario where you just turn it on for the first time and wear them and hear them. They're not bad audio in terms of audio quality. It's a good listening experience out of the box, but it's not perfect. There's a couple of issues. First, it's insanely bassy headphones. It's not as much comparing to the better ones, but there's a lot of bass in this. Sony is famous for their bass. They really like their bass, especially the studio headphones as well. For some reason, there's bass on those. They really love bass-like audio. It's just too bassy. Especially if you prefer to have a more natural sound, you might not like the bass on these. It's a bit too much. But it's, you know, for music experience, especially if you like rock or, you know, anything related to bass, anything that's too bassy, right? It's great. It's really great. It's really good. Audio quality, though, it depends. I mean, could be a slightly better. Sennheiser ones, they have a better audio quality in terms of the speaking scenario. When there's a speaking on the whole music, it sounds better, but the bass on these are not that good, even with EQ. It doesn't really help. These, which by the way, there's the app. You can control the app from the app. In terms of the bass, the audio quality and all that, I didn't do that much. I should mention I didn't have that time to do that much. But you can't do that. But in general sense, even if I could, the bass is still there. I can feel the bass even if I decrease it a bit. In terms of audio quality, it's not bad. It doesn't feel as natural comparing to other ones. But it's not as bad. I will say it works. But the bass is a little bit more than usual. But if you like bass headphones, you will be just fine with these. And I know a lot of people that do like that. So I can see why it's also sold quite amount of times. Quite an amount of quantity as well. So yeah, very bassy. If that's what you're looking for, you probably will be comfortable with the audio for these. Overall audio, though, I would say it's fine. It's not the best in the world. It's fine. For the price point, understandable-ish. The audio quality in terms of audio jack connectivity, you know, the cable connection. Now, I try to use them on my computer by cable, not by Bluetooth, to see if it's also a good headphone for normal use, right? Editing, maybe listening to stuff by cable, whatnot. And that's where they kind of ruined the whole thing. Again, I'll mention the noise canceling in the end because that's something related to all things in general. First of all, if you're planning to use these on a PlayStation, for example, or anything in general, but mostly in PlayStation, first of all, you can only use it as an audio device. There's no mic for the PlayStation, so don't use this for PlayStation. I've seen people trying to do that. Don't do that. But if you just want to use it as a listening scenario, that's it. First, don't turn off the headphone. You can use it without the headphone being on. You can use it off, but it's the worst experience I've ever had in my life. Because what happens when you turn it off and use it by cable is that for some reason the audio just goes too far and not even that well. It's just bad. It only works normally when you turn it on, which destroys the whole point of using these offline. The idea of offline use is that you don't use it with power, but I believe they did market that you have to power the thing to use it normally, but that's kind of disappointing. But yeah, don't use it without it. Don't use it when it's off. Use it when it's on. And when it's on, it works pretty much the same as a Bluetooth headphone. It sounds the same. It's a bit disappointing. I don't know what the frequency of these. I kind of tried to open and see. So it's supposed to be 7 Hz to 20 kilohertz in both off and active operation. No. Well, it's 20 to 20 kilohertz. That's like the normal scenario for Bluetooth, which is normal. But the part of the 7 to 20 scenario, it only works well when it's on active, not offline. So yeah, the marketing is a little bit bad. So yeah, in general, you still have to turn it on to use it properly. But here's the annoying part. It's 325 ohms when it's on connected by cable. This requiring a headphone amplifier to work properly. No wonder it sounded just normal. Yeah, so cable connection wise, it's not a plug and play scenario, or it's not exactly the best thing in the world. Disappointing in terms of the cable connection, but it is a Bluetooth headphone. I know that, and I should think of it as a Bluetooth headphone, which is fine. I get that. Just the cable connection scenario, disappointing. Not exactly. I tried to use it for editing as well. It sounded, the only good thing on the editing part, that I could hear the bass better. The bass part was a little bit better, so I knew if the audio was a bit too high. But audio natural scenario, no. I prefer to use other headphones, like Sennheiser ones, because they sound a little more natural, and sure, the bass is not the best on the Sennheiser ones. But my videos, when I'm editing my videos, prefer audio quality rather than the bass of that audio. So that's the only difference I could really mention. But Bluetooth connectivity and audio of it, you know, the audio Bluetooth connection, it's fine. It's great for bass and for music listening. I actually prefer these more than many other things out there. The loudness it's quite loud. I don't know why people say it's not as loud. Sure, the old wear is louder because it's 40 millimeter. These are 30, but it's quite loud. I've seen people mentioning that it's not as loud, especially when I talk to them and they use them. I don't agree to that. I think they're loud enough for me. It's loud enough for me to listen. I don't know. They might have something wrong with their ears, but it's loud enough. I don't know what the issue is. I don't know. For me, it's fine. I mean, again, the app, it's a less simpler version of the Sennheiser ones, but it is there. Things are there. You can turn on the noise canceling, or if you want ambient noise, it's there. You can even turn off the DSE, which these support. The idea of DSE is it takes a normal audio quality and increase the audio quality a little bit more, which helps, right? It does help. And you know, there's an EQ, so you can customize the audio. You can also, you know, turn on or off the 360 audio feature, whatever it's called. I don't remember exactly. And many other features that exist there that you might actually benefit. But it is a weird app because it has a bit of other things into it, a bit too much. It can be a little bit annoying. Personally, I don't really like that much, but it is still usable. I still prefer the Sennheiser because it looks cleaner. That's all I can say. Noise canceling, that's where I was a little bit disappointed. Now, the noise canceling is something that they should market as a passive and simpler noise canceling scenario rather than a active noise canceling scenario, because it's not exactly the most noise canceling headphone in the world. It's very less comparing to what you expect it to be. So it does block some of the hissing, some of the annoying sounds. And again, noise canceling, the idea of it is it actually cancels small annoying audios rather than canceling the whole thing, right? That's the whole idea of noise canceling. That's why a lot of people think it cancels the whole thing. No, it doesn't. It just decreases the annoying sounds by picking up those slow, annoying hissings and other small things and reverting it back to cancel it, right? That's the whole idea. But these do it very minimal. So the noise canceling these is a little bit less than expected. And so it works, but less than expected to be. But with the fact that the audio of these are very bassy, and if you just turn out the music, the noise, the simpler, let's be honest, it's a simpler noise canceling with the audio does end up becoming a decently good thing in a general sense. Of course, you have to have a music on, because if you just use it as a noise canceling headphone without any music, it's not as expected to be. But with the music and the noise cancelling does help a little bit. It kind of equals to something that makes you now listen to a lot of things outside in general, right? Unless someone bangs the door very strongly. So it's not bad. I mean, it's decent. You know, if it is something that you need in that sense, it does the job. Personally, I actually don't mind that much. But a great example, if you want to use it for traveling, I wouldn't use this for traveling. The noise cancelling these are very minimal. It will not do the noise. It doesn't have that noise cancelling traveling experience. It's more like I'm on the office or I'm studying, I want to use noise cancellation scenario. That's what I would recommend this to, especially for students. I actually recommend this for students. But for traveling, no. I wouldn't use this for traveling. I wouldn't use this for specific scenarios that require a much stronger noise cancellation. It's a simpler noise cancellation scenario. Very simple. Library wise, that's actually a great way to use this actually. Library scenario, this would do. So yeah, simpler, not to that extent. Decent noise cancellation, that's all I can say. But also because I want to use this for traveling as an example, because you can't fold it. You can just do, actually this is the left side, right? Yeah. So they somehow weirdly made a really weird decision on the design for the XM5s and this, where you can't even fold it, nor you can just flip it on this side. You can only flip like this. So it kind of looks like this, which is weird, especially for people to see the ear stuff and the weird, disgusting stuff there. It's weirdly, I mean, for these are actually not that uncomfortable. The XM5 is actually uncomfortable, but these are fine because it's small and lightweight. But it is weird in a general sense. XM5 not so much. I actually hate that. That's why I don't really like those headphones that much, in terms of the design at least. But yeah, not really exactly a traveling headphone. You can't even fold it or anything. That's kind of a downer. I don't know why they decided to delete the whole folding scenario. I guess maybe it's, I don't know. I actually have no clue. They actually kept that on the Ultwear, the new Ultwear headphones. So why they didn't do that on the whatever. Yeah, not a traveling headphone, but again, in general, if you're just using it for like college or, you know, being a student, or you just want a simpler, normal headphone that has a bit of noise canceling and it's not as expensive comparing to the very expensive models. And overall, it still performs a little bit better than other ones, although with some exceptions. It does the job. Again, for me, it's not exactly a headphone I liked, but it is, comparing to other competitors on that price point, better. Like if I want to spend on that price point, I probably think of this, which is the reason why I know I had said a lot of cons about these, but I just can't say it's not a good headphone. I think it's good, but it's not the best. The marketing and all of this thing kind of was a bit too much. They mentioned too many things. There is one thing I haven't used it yet, but it's actually kind of interesting that it supports that. The fact that it supports for Dolby Atmos, it's great. I mean, I didn't notice it, sadly, especially for me who uses a Samsung phone, which does support for Dolby Atmos. You know, you could also use it on TVs that support for Dolby Atmos by Bluetooth or having adapter for that. Or, you know, in general, just the fact that it supports for Dolby Atmos, it's great. So I forgot to mention that's actually an interesting thing. That's what actually differs from other ones. Actually, I saw a couple of reviews, and for some reason they never mentioned that. But yeah, it supports for Dolby Atmos. So comparing to other competitors, that's one of the biggest difference. But overall, though, you know, in terms of cons, build quality is weird, but at least it's comfortable. But again, weird and plastic cheap feel. The audio jack connectivity part is just honestly disappointing. Noise canceling is not that big of a thing, but it, you know, it's there. Um, and yeah, the audio quality is fine, not the best, it's fine. Pros though, very heavy bass if you like that. Very lightweight if you want that. Supports for good audio, 360 audio scenario. So you know the 360 audio thing from Sony or Dolby Atmos, which is nice. The controls are, you know, easy to use. The app is fine, not as good as Sennheiser, but it's still just fine. Yeah, overall, I think comparing to many competitors at this price point, even though they should make this a little bit cheaper though, but at $100, sure. If you can get it for 90, even better. Or even 80, that would be good, but that would be too much, I guess. But at $100, it's understandable in some ways. It's the best ones, but in a specific scenario and a specific usability. If you're gonna use it Bluetooth and you want high bass and whatnot, this will be it. If you're using it for editing as well, or you want to use it for multiple scenarios, then no. It does have the ability to do so, but it's not recommended. The audio jack is just horrible, and the fact that you have to turn it on and even requiring amplifier just destroys the whole point. So yeah, that is it for today's video. That's it for these headphones at least. If you guys want to check these headphones, I'm interested in these headphones. I will link it in the description down below. At the end of the day, I'd still recommend this if you're in the budget and you need something that's good. Not the best, but good, or at least decent enough to do the job you will need it for. If you're looking for something that's for traveling, again, it's the Ultware or the XM4s, not XM5s, XM4s. Those are easier to travel with. If you want the best ones for office use or the best noise cancelling in general, that would be the XM5 and the Ultware. But if you're just looking for something that's like cheaper and you're like a student in a budget or someone in a budget and you need something that just does a job, I would recommend these. Again, link in the description down below. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys liked it. Comment down below, share this video, give a like. If you guys want to see more of these videos, which I'm planning to do more, comment down below, share this video. Again, this month was great. It did a good job. Yeah, this is going really well. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys liked it. Comment down below, share this video, give a like, share it to your pets, to your family, to your friends. I don't know why I mentioned the pets first. Anyways, so yeah, thank you guys for watching. Remember to hit the bell and share the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Let's hit to 1,000 subscribers, please. Peace.